Alrighty, hello and welcome everyone. Raze Gaming taking on Fancy Lads. I am joined by my wonderful co-caster. Say hello to everyone and state your name.
Hello, I am DK.
Hello DK.
And, I am joined by Arctic.
Yes you are. So now we're waiting for the last two players to join the game and we can get set into this draft. And there was a little bit of lateness coming out from Raze Gaming, but we did actually get everything sorted in time. But it was a little bit unfortunate, in my opinion. Don't you agree?
Yes, and also Raze had to suffer a penalty of having no bonus time. It's gonna make them suffer in the picking phase.
Yep, they really needed to be prepared. They really did need to prepare. And unfortunately that precious bonus time will actually be deducted from them in this lowers bracket game. And of course the winner of this will proceed further into the lowers bracket, getting closer and closer to that chance to move back up into the main finals stage. So both teams want to do so, and hopefully, well, the better team gets through.
Also, the winner is going to face off in Aspire, Team Aspire.
Team Aspire.
To get into the upper bracket.
Yep, of course. And now we're headed on into the draft right now. So Raze Gaming have no more reserve time, and the bans are actually coming out fairly quickly. Looks like the teams know what Imber heroes they feel in their eyes.
Let's talk a bit about the first bans. We have the Tide Hunter, a huge stun AoE. The Necrophos, a hero that can shut down one enemy for a good time. Omni, which can stop exactly the Void ult, and most of the damage that has to come from him.
Fair enough, and now looking at the heroes as well, Juggernaut going to be the first pick up, and straight away you can tell the kind of... It's a strategy that we've seen before in the past, you know, the classic Faceless Void and Skywrath Mage.
And we have Vengeful Spirit, which is going to be able to save anyone from the Void Chronosphere and the Skywrath ult, but she's going to have to sacrifice for that.
Oh, of course. And actually, looking at it right now, if they pick up the correct second support, for Fancy Lads, they may be looking at a fairly strong aggressive tri-lane at the moment to shut down that Faceless Void, because of course he can't backtrack all of the Blade Fury damage, and of course the Magic Missile to hold him in place, or even Skywrath Mage, the support in lane, may also be a kill that they could go for if they go for that support. But at the same time they can run a very nice defensive tri-lane depending on the offlaner that Raze picks up and exactly if they can deal with it or not. And I was surprised that they banned out Tidehunter, because Juggernaut in lane with Tidehunter deals with him really well, because Blade Fury actually doesn't proc Kraken Shell, so you can bring down an offlane Tidehunter very easily.
I'm actually thinking that the Fancy Lads might want to pick Crystal Maiden, because Juggernaut really has a low mana pool. If he had the mana he needed, they could easily run a tri-lane and stomp them.
Oh, of course, he's kind of like the Jug Veno combo as well. The Frostbite's really good at holding them in place, while Jug can just land his spin. And Viper, this Razor going all out. This is basically just the Chronosphere's the center of this whole draft. If they get a good Faceless Void ultimate off, you've got the Mystic Flare coming out from Skywrath Mage, plus all the nukes, and you've got a hard hitter such as Viper sitting on the outside who can take down another unit at the same time. But the reply is Death Prophet, which I feel is a really nice semi-counter towards Faceless Void, because if she's got Exorcism up during the time of Chronosphere, the ghosts actually target the Faceless Void and do a heck of a lot of damage. May even get a kill on him if he stays for too long. So I don't mind this pickup, and they've got the Vengeful Spirit in the back as well to save Death Prophet's life if she needs it.
I gotta say, I completely agree with all the bans of Raze. The Razor could counter Void easily into the mid-game, late game, and the Viper would have done nothing in his lane.
Yeah, and the Doom as well.
Yeah, including the Doom. I think we're also looking at a support alchemist. because they already have two of their cores. I doubt we're looking at a offlane alchemist.
You know, man, they could even do the class El Clasico offlane Faceless Void, who basically just gets levels in a one-position Alchemist, which is highly unlikely, but there's always the possibility. And I'm actually really a large fan of the support Alchemist, especially because it may not seem like it, but it does increase your late game potential slightly due to the fact that this support or Alchemist, when played as a support, can actually flash farm really well once he's got levels in Acid Spray and, of course, that wonderful Greevil's Greed. He can turn into a semi-carry from his supporting role, so I think I love the hero. I love him as a support as well.
I completely agree with you, but what if he doesn't get to farm? Because as we look at the fancy lads, they have a pushing team. They have every single hero they have pushes pretty well. The aura from Vengeful Spirit, the wards from Juggernaut helps to push a lot. The wave and the exorcism and the liquid fire.
Of course. Do you think that it might be a core hero in this game in the offlane and they'll pick up another support? Or do you think they're going to pick up an offlaner in this last pick from Fancy Lads right now?
They should probably pick an AoE stun.
An AoE stun?
Maybe, even if it's not so usual to have Magnus offlane, maybe they can run an aggressive tri-lane and the Magnus solo bot lane, safe lane.
Yeah, it could be considered a little bit greedy though, especially... it depends on the offlaner of Raze Gaming, because Magnus is definitely punished by those ranged heroes that dominate their lane, but in fact they're actually banned out. They've already gotten rid of the Razor, who is always favoured against Magnus in the mid lane, just because that static link completely zones out the hero, but they very may well want to go for that. But I have a feeling that it doesn't synergize as well with their pushing lineup that they've hinted towards at the moment. And now they've picked up Storm Spirit, so they've got a very nice initiation already from the Faceless Void and the Storm Spirit being able to get in and out of fights, and there's nothing really to deal with that. Storm Spirit can dodge the stun from Vengeful Spirit. The only thing really is the Death Prophet's silence, but if he doesn't get hit by that, he can dodge almost anything. Even the Juggernaut ulti he can jump away from, and he can dodge the Ice Path from Jakiro, so he's going to be hard to bring down unless they pick up an Orchid on someone, or if they get some sort of way of bringing him down, like a Hex or something of that respect.
The Hex would probably be the best choice, but I don't think they have room for another support.
Yes, in their lineup.
Some damage and AoE. They mostly have one target heroes, the Vengeful Spirit, the Juggernaut, and Jakiro is mostly a small AoE without a big AoE stun.
Yeah, like he more focuses on single target though. When you target Liquid Fire, you don't do it as much for the area of effect. You want it to get the damage onto that specific hero.
Yeah, you could eventually get it further with the Aghanim Scepter, but not wider.
But if they wanted to push early, I thought that Jakiro as a core could very well be a possibility, just because getting that early level up in Liquid Fire and a couple of levels in that could really get, like, you know, the 5 to 10 minute pushes up really quickly, whereas as a support, just pulling through the jungle, doing double pulls and triple pulls and all those shenanigans, he's not really going to level up as fast as he would in a solo lane. But that depends if he gets zoned out or not. That's always what it relies on.
I actually saw Leshrac core pick in their team, but they're gonna go for the X.
I actually don't mind it. I think some of the heroes, when you look at Raze Gaming right now, Storm Spirit, Alchemist, depending on his role, Viper and Faceless Void, sometimes they do want to go for that BKB, and of course Axe's brilliant first ability, Berserker's Rage, now does go through BKB, so they've got all this control. They've got ways to slow down the Faceless Void, and they've got ways to bring him down, especially with that backtrack. They can take him down very quickly. And that's also kind of their reply to Storm Spirit, to stop him from zipping away. They could probably nuke him down and stun lock him with Jakiro and Vengeful Spirit and the Death Prophet Silence during that time that he's in the call. So I'm actually I'm a real fan of this last pickup by Fancy Lads.
Indeed, the picks of Raze are pretty greedy. If they don't manage to win the early game, I mean, just to survive the early game, they're going to lose the whole game. Just gonna get pushed into really fast. 10 minutes in that game, that Prophet gonna be over level 6, and X is gonna have his Blink Dagger to go in over all of them. Void isn't gonna be able to do anything, and they're just gonna have to suffer.
Yeah, that's the thing. Faceless Void doesn't do that much early on, especially, I reckon Skywrath Mage is the same in that area. Of course, he's got a brilliant nuke ability, but the thing is, it is very mana costly early on, so he doesn't have a huge impact. He can spam it a couple of times, but if he doesn't bring enough clarities, he's not really going to have an impact. And looking at the lineup right now, actually, for Fancy Lads, they've got a really strong laning phase, I think, with this last Axe pickup. They've got really solid supports, nothing of exceptional greed, and Death Prophet in the mid lane is fairly strong. She's fairly quick, hard to gank. They don't really have the supports to gank her that efficiently, and I think that if Fancy Lads get through the laning stage without any scratches and bruises, and maybe even picking up a first blood, which they could very well do, they're just going to get out of control. And even with all the big abilities that are coming from Raze Gaming, of course, the Chronosphere and whatever they have, will prove to be almost worthless.
Well, indeed, the Chronosphere and the Acid Spray is going to do a lot of damage, but before they get to that point, they're gonna have to deal with the Fancy Lads, fighting them into the early game.
Oh yeah, all the games that I've been casting lately have been heavily dependent on the early game. There's been no real passive early games for me recently. There's been a lot of smoke ganks, a lot of early aggression before the games even start. And here we go, the smoke's already been picked up on Jakiro, so they're hinting exactly towards it. And look at how beautiful that courier is.
Before we start the game, we might want to introduce the players.
Yeah, that's true. Do you want to do the Radiant and I'll do the Dire?
Okay, sure. We have Standing Blackheart onto the Vengeful Spirit, Nevdi onto the Dead Prophet going mid, Kirk onto the Axe going solo off lane, Nargles onto Juggernaut, and Johnny Hitler onto Jakiro.
Very nice. And now looking at Raze Gaming, we've got Rise of Dean playing that mid Storm Spirit. We've also got JP playing on what looks like to be a safe lane. One position Faceless Void. We've got Dysteria, or some variation of that word, playing on the support Skywrath Mage. Janos looking towards the support Alchemist as well. And are they hinting towards a Viper offlane, or are they just going to run dual lanes? Viper in the offlane is actually really annoying to play against.
If you have nothing to deal with him, like a range hero and stuns and a lot of damage, probably it's gonna be a pain in the ass. But Fancy Lads do have a lot of damage, stuns, and I don't know if Viper can deal with them alone.
Oh, so it looks like they're hinting towards a solo Viper. She does have, well, I don't know if it's a he or a she, I'll just call it for now. But Viper does have one Observer Ward. So it looks like he's going to try and block something, or pull some sort of shenanigan, or just get vision of this kind of area, so he can hopefully survive any incoming ganks. But what do you think of this offlane Viper? Do you think he's going to get levels? Do you think he's going to be able to progress into the mid game, hitting hard, or trying to get some sort of sufficient farm up against Juggernaut?
Considering his ward right here, I doubt he's gonna do anything because the pool camp is not gonna be blocked, and he's gonna starve.
But at the same time, if the supports are busy pulling, that does give precious time in lane to for him to get some sort of XP. And if the supports don't stack camp, which it looks like they're gonna do right now, if you do a single pull, it actually pushes the lane in the end. But look at the harass that he's doing to Johnny Hitler, the Jakiro.
Jakiro is gonna have to take it, but it's gonna pay off. And that's gonna be pretty fast. The Juggernaut will gain a lot more levels than the Viper, and the supports will get some levels as well.
Can you just jump onto the Viper right now, because you have control of looking at the hero's items and whatnot. So he's kind of gone a little bit greedy with his build. He's got a Wraith Band level 1 and 4 tangos. He doesn't have boots in the offlane, and he doesn't have a salve. So definitely trading harass is a viable option, as he may well have to go back to base.
It probably won't matter him going back to base, because the lane is gonna be pulled, and apparently they didn't even get to stack it because it's heal.
Yep, the healing one, that pesky healer.
Yeah, they attacked it, and
and let's actually look at top lane right now. We got Kirk on the offlane Axe. How do you think he's going to go in this lane? Do you think first blood could occur up top?
I doubt so because he blocked the full camp and he's pretty tanky. They do have one reliable stun, but one slow isn't gonna be enough, as Skyra doesn't even have that much mana.
Yeah, exactly. See, he spammed out Arcane Bolt, and this is what I said at the start. He did bring some clarities, but once he spammed it out, he's basically useless until he gets all his mana back.
Yeah, he's probably gonna have to go back to base and then come back to lane. And hope X doesn't have his Tranquil Boots active, so he can take him low, so he doesn't get any farm.
And look at the Axe's item build. He's got a Ring of Protection, Boots of Speed, and a Stout Shield. He's extremely tank. Probably now that he's got 350 gold to get that Ring of Health and finish his Tranquils.
Yeah, the Tranquils are a real core onto this lane.
And look at this shenanigan. He's actually pulling the creeps so that the dire creeps come down to his tower. This is pulling an Admiral Bulldog. I say this all the time.
Yeah, he also stacked the camp. That's the biggest advantage of being the Radiant side.
As the offlaner.
The offlane, yeah.
And look at that, now he brings the creeps across. And there you go, he's got a whole wave almost to himself to farm freely. And he actually doesn't bring it under the tower so he can get the last hits. He actually sits forward and tanks a bit of damage so he can try get a bit of CS.
Well, he knows he can't stop Void from farming, but he's just trying to take farm from himself.
And he's doing alright, man. He's barely being oppressed at all. And this is the problem with the support Alchemist. He's not ranged and he doesn't provide that much in terms of right click as well. So he's really bad at harassing enemy offlaners and tanky offlaners as well, such as Axe and even that counter Helix on top. Alchemist being a melee hero can will take a lot of damage if he's not careful.
Yeah, he also has a really small armor.
And actually mid lane, Nevdi does have a haster and looks like the dive's coming on under Rise of Dean, and this will be first blood.
Yeah, haster and DD at the same time, that's pretty big.
That is insanely lucky. Insanely lucky.
X is being pretty cocky against them, but he's staying on the SS range, he's taking a lot of damage.
Oh, and he gets bashed!
X gets to make the calls to survive the Void. Lucky bash kills.
That RNG, man, that RNG. So Axe dies top 1 for 1 right now. Maybe we'll jump through a couple of the stats right now. Death Prophet, even with that kill, is leading the CS charts, and now we actually have a pause. And this is where that 5 minutes thing comes into play. I'm just gonna get that going. And so let's just we'll use this time to go through a couple of stats right now. So Death Prophet picks up first blood and at the same time is leading the charts in CS. Actually, 2 Radiant heroes are leading the CS charts right now. And Void in the defensive tri-lane against Axe is 20-5.
Well, we can already see they are leading in gold with 1.5k already. And
oh yeah, they are.
As well.
That's insane, man.
For the start.
That's the lineup of the Radiant right now. If they get ahead, they're going to become almost unstoppable, you know?
If they do make a profit out of being ahead of the enemy, yes, they will be unstoppable. But they must be careful not to feed them.
Could you just jump onto the Jakiro for a second, who's the pull camp? So yeah, he's going for the pushing build this game. He's got 2 points in Liquid Fire. When do you think the first push is going to come on this Viper's tower?
It's gonna be at least when he turns level 5. But I doubt they are able to do it because Storm Spitter is gonna come to help, and as well as the Alchemy support, which will help a lot with the Acid Spray and the stun.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Will be the biggest factor.
And Storm Spirit is level 6.
Yes. Void starting to be able to solo the X, and he won't need the supports really soon.
He's gone 2 points in Time Walk instead of anything in a couple of his passives.
Well, he's probably trying to be safe and or just make sure he can get to the kills and get them for himself.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I was just thinking, like, it's surprising that a Void needs to get those levels. Well,
Viper.
Yeah, it looks like she's the
He
Viper's
should
trying to
probably
get
just
something.
get out right now.
Oh yeah, against the tri-lane he's going to have a hard time. Places a ward down, will actually confront Blackheart, but if he pursues for too long he can be in a lot of trouble.
Well, he actually blocked the camp, which was gonna help him because they never do stack it.
Yeah, so it ends up pushing the lane
like,
back onto his tower.
Yeah, they did like 3 or 4 blocks.
And actually Viper may be in trouble for the greed that he actually gave out.
No, I think he's gonna manage to get out. He also bought 2 other stacks of tangos.
Oh wow, yeah he did.
And he is level 6 now. It's gonna allow him to be a lot more cocky.
And it looks like this is the push now. They've got this the 7-minute push. They've got the catapults, so that obviously increases the potential a lot.
Level 3 liquid fire.
No, level 3. Wait, did you say level 3? I must have.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, yep. So they got level 3 liquid fire as well on that tower, which does just so much damage.
We might be looking at a kill for Viper here. And yeah, Juggernaut is not level 6, he needs 1 experience.
Oh.
If he had that 1 experience, he could kill Viper.
He needs to tread swap though to intelligence. There we go. He's close.
Yeah.
He's around 5 mana away when he does do that swap.
Yes. Jakiro moved top to help a bit, but he almost died as well, although they killed him.
But Scarth Mage.
And Stun is doing quite some work.
So Scarth Mage gets blown up. This tri-lane not going insanely the way that Raze Gaming wanted it to go. Their supports are being picked off, and by a simple rotation of the Jakiro, they pick up another kill.
Well, I'm just wondering why Death Prophet doesn't help the other lanes more, and because they really need to hurry in this game. They have no time to waste with the Void getting having already the Mask of Madness.
Oh yeah, he's getting
And
some
he-
alright farm.
Yeah, lucky them he's not level 6 yet.
And she's actually just going to pop the Exorcism for the mid lane. Probably want to nuke down those creeps and continue to get as much damage off as she can. And now it's being pinged out extremely hard by Storm Spirit. They know that this tower will fall if no one TPs in. And he is level 6, maybe looking to go for a
Still
kill.
have a 45. They still have a blink.
And Nevdi
Mana,
being pursued by Rise of Dean, but she's just too darn quick.
he doesn't have the boots. She has the phase though.
And she is extremely fast.
Although Void has some items, he doesn't have that many CS.
Yeah,
He only has
at around 10 minutes in, average farm would be around 50 CS, I believe. And then if you're looking at perfect CS, it'd be around 80. But he's actually sitting at 36 at 9 minutes and a half.
Well, looking at the bot lane, Viper is attempting to control his lane. The Radiant can't deal with him anymore.
And they've actually got enough to do the spin and ultimate combo, so if Vengeful Spirit runs in, this could very well be a kill. Viper's got no vision. This is the time to go, I believe. But Vengeful Spirit being so patient for some odd reason, and just gives him time to back off.
He can't just jump the creeps.
Yeah, that's true, but most of the time Vipers will just escape and run back up towards their tower, which will create space between them and the creeps, allowing for Juggernaut to get a full-blown ulti.
Yeah. They have to wait for the Viper to be near the creeps inside, like here where he was, and the Vengeful should come from behind and wait for the creeps to die, and then jump on him.
Yeah.
He can't get back right at that moment.
And meanwhile, mid lane Storm Spirit jumping in for Nev. The Ottoman is committing to this kill, trying to get some right clicks off. Will she actually tick down to the poison? Axe TP's in. Nevdi actually survives. Axe misses the ultimate. Oversees it, and the counter initiation. 2 heroes rotate in, and Viper and Storm Spirit drop, and Nevdi actually gets away with his life.
I was watching that Prophet's HP right then. It got to 4, but the last tick didn't kill him.
Oh man,
Just 4 HP.
that is insane luck. And Viper blew the ultimate for that one as well.
He's gonna get his Yule Scepter pretty soon.
Oh yeah, he's very close. I think he's got it now, doesn't he? Oh no, he
No,
needs the
not
Void
yet.
Stone, doesn't he? He's got the recipe.
Yeah. So you might want to adjust your microphone. I'm hearing you pretty low.
Pretty low? How's that? Any louder?
Not loud, low.
So you're not hearing me loud enough? Oh.
That combo worked out well for that one kill.
Yeah, Jakiro drops the, this was the combo we were talking about at the start. It's very, it's not very complicated. You just Chronosphere and you spam everything onto a single hero, Scarlet Mage. Axe actually jumps in, gets a call on 2. Death Prophet with the nuke as well. And the silence stopping JP from jumping away, and 2 will drop. Oh, man.
He already had the animation. He only had, like, really... a second.
It was just amazing timing.
Yes.
And do they have Exorcism up? Are they going to go for this top push? Yeah, they will.
Even has his Yule Scepter, he is not going to get countered on the tower. They're not going to use the glyph. Oh, there is the glyph.
Yeah, they get that glyph off in time, but Nevdi really making use of the Exorcisms. Didn't bring down the mid tower though. Got really close, I believe. Yeah, it's on its way.
Well, although X had a not so full of farm lane, he already has a Blink Dagger and another 1.2k into the bank.
Do you think he's going to go for the Vanguard in this game with the early pushing strategy? He wants to get as tank as he can, as quick as he can.
I actually would consider getting a Blade Mail this game because of the Skyrod Mage.
Yeah, that's true. Being able to
just run into his ult.
Yeah, exactly, and just send all that damage back to him as a very nice Christmas present.
Yeah. Well, Vengeful Spirit is level 6. She is gonna be able to swap Viper if she wills to, but Viper is already gonna back off. And we're gonna see that interesting Bob build onto the Juggernaut with Mask of Madness.
Oh yeah.
To get an axe right now. X wasn't able to blink in for some reason.
And actually the Chronosphere is going to come in. JP trying to do what damage he can. Vengeful Spirit drops.
There's the Juggernaut, but he barely does any damage. Juggernaut is gonna manage to escape really low. Viper's gonna go get... Viper's gonna try to escape, but I don't think he can if X just reached the cool blade. No, he's gonna drop before he does that. Jakiro is trying to help the rest of the team escape. The Prophet is going low. Jakiro is going to die. But fortunately, the tower has fell.
Oh man. Axe spent like most of that fight just trying to run from this position here up to, oh, you probably can't see it, but to everyone watching, he was trying to run from this position here to there, and that whole time, just due to Viper, he couldn't make anything happen and just died without being able to get a call off on anything.
He actually fed a mega kill streak to Viper, and looking at the fight recap, the Dire won 1.8k gold and the Radiant lost 2.71, even though they got the tower.
Oh, that's insane. Yeah, I saw Alchemist trying to deny that tower, and his attack speed was so slow from Liquid Fire or Dual Breath, one or the other. I think it was Liquid Fire, and he wasn't actually able to get the deny in time. But what do you think the plan is for Raze Gaming right now? How can they come back into this game from the lead that they've lost? And actually, as I say that, the lead is continued. Axe jumps in, call, and a beautiful culling blade, and he brings down the support Scarlet Mage again. Rise of Dean may be in trouble, but it can of course zip out with his wonderful ultimate.
Well, we were previously talking about the next item on Axe. Apparently he's going for an Axe. He really wants to get rid of the Void really fast.
Yeah, and if you take a look at the heroes right now who are squishy / underfarmed, Storm Spirit, what items does he have right now?
Oh.
There we go.
Really
He's not progressing very well, only at 800 HP, and if Axe gets that Aghanim Scepter upgrade, his ultimate threshold sits at around 625, I believe, so he could kill that Storm Spirit so easy. And he tries to make a play on mid, but won't do so in the end. Storm Spirit with the quick reactions, and now they're chowing down on this tier 2 mid, forcing the fights, forcing the push.
Yeah, all they have to do is to send Jakiro throw a liquid fire and then get back again. They're just gonna get the towers easily, including the tier 3. Now we're looking at a possible fight. Viper is going for the dead rough straight away, but he's going to get destroyed.
And meanwhile in the fight, Rise of Dean, maybe about to die, zips out with his life. The Vengeful Spirit gets picked off, but the Exorcism, Storm Spirit's got no more mana. He gets taken down. Axe is being spammed with those arcane orbs.
Axe's Blink Dagger called, and he's gonna cool him. No, he's got silenced.
He got silenced during the animation. Alchemist trying to go back in, but there's not much he can really do. Will actually stun Juggernaut on tower. Does expend the medallion, but proves to no avail. And now 4 heroes down, and 3 heroes actually from Fancy Lads escape with a small portion of life left, and this definitely opens up space for the tier 2 tower to die right now.
Well, that was a payback for the previous fight and a big win. Because if you're looking right now, Juggernaut and Death Prophet, Juggernaut has 3k gold and Death Prophet has almost 4.
So they're getting insanely ahead. Maybe check out the graphs. Over 5k in advance for XP earned, going the way of Fancy Lads, and gold as well. In team net worth, over 7.5k. They're snowballing so hard, and it proves in these fights. There's just the items that Raze Gaming need. They're going to take a lot longer to farm, and they need it as early as possible. But Fancy Lads obviously being extremely aggressive, and we can see it again in the mid lane. Ottoman, beautiful silence used at the perfect time. Culling Blade going to be used too early though. Won't kill Ottoman, and the Battle Hunger is going to be taken away when he receives that kill. Death Prophet hastes away. A bit of a misplay there.
That mechanism kind of saved Viper there. Do you think it's going to change the fights for the Raze Gaming?
I think it's definitely important to have that early mechanism against a lineup such as this. With all this early aggression, and of course with the insane nukes that they have, they're going to need more sustain than what they've got. They don't have the tank ability that they have right now. The 2 armor that the mechanism gives out to all your teammates is extremely powerful against that Death Prophet, who of course her ultimate is actually physical damage, so it negates some of that as well. So I think it's a great pickup, and it proves to help out. It saved Viper from ticking down to that battle call, and picks up that tanky axe.
Well, do you think that the Fancy Lads need to stay and farm more, or just hurry up and push as fast as possible?
I think since Chronosphere is on cooldown, I believe, did they expend that? No, it's not actually, so they've got it up and running. They need to wait for the time bracket when Chronosphere is down, because the only thing stopping them from getting these insane initiations and pushes off is the fact that they can be the counter aggression can come out very quickly and easily with a good Chronosphere. So I think Raze Gaming want to farm, and if they get the space to do so, they will, and they won't force out the Chronosphere. But if Fancy Lads aren't careful with their aggression and their ganks, and meanwhile, as we're saying that, Void barely skips away that really nice...
X actually cancelled his Berserker's Call. He didn't even use it because he saw Void leaping off. That was a pretty fast...
Yeah, nice prediction. Oh yeah, it saved him that whole 110 mana that he can use for the next fight, which is actually very important for an Axe who's got a fairly small mana pool. And actually, in the middle of the jungle, Juggernaut gets ultied up via Viper, will spin out and won't actually get into any kind of trouble. Nevdi now has a DD rune, and Storm Spirit actually gets jumped on top of Berserker's Call and Culling Blade. The beautiful combo proves to be a positive thing to have on their side yet again, and now the tier 2 top's in jeopardy. Do you think the reply is going to come out from Raze Gaming, and do you think they can stop this push if they commit to it?
Right now, if they are gonna force before the Storm Spirit gets to respawn, they should just let the tower and go to farm and make a profit out of the time they have, because it's not gonna be much. The Storm Spirit isn't even close to his Orchid, so...
And it's not really worth losing heroes for a tower as well. Like you may not even defend the tower, and you may lose heroes at the same time. So I think definitely they popped Exorcism. They probably could just be backing off and pushing and farming other lanes, but it looks like they're committing to a defense. They do pop the Glyph, and Storm Spirit is coming into the fight. They've got Chronosphere and they've got everything they need to nuke down a couple of enemy heroes. If a nice Chrono... Oh yeah, Alchemist pops an early rage.
They're just gonna let them take it. They couldn't do really much anyway.
Yeah, the reply isn't actually that strong from Raze Gaming at this time. They need more farm, and Alk needs that 4th point in Acid Spray to just really increase JP's DPS during that time. And I didn't think about this as well, which is actually really powerful. The fact that Death Prophet's ultimate is physical damage in combination with... Oh no, actually that'd be great if they were on the same team with Void. Faceless Void, Death Prophet, and Alchemist. But they do have Wave of Terror. But I was going to say, if you pick up Death Prophet and Faceless Void and Alchemist, you could the Acid Spray will increase the Exorcism damage by quite a lot. And with that, what was I going to say, Vengeful Spirit on top, you could do a heck of a lot of damage with all that armor reduction.
Well, I think that Davis is really good with that Prophet as well. And mostly any hero that reducts above 5 armor
is very helpful, I reckon. Very helpful. Anything that deducts a large amount of armor such as that. And do you think Jug's going to go for maybe a Desolator type build this game and to make to increase the armor reduction of his team now that he's picked up this Aghanim Scepter, or do you think it's going to be like a BKB type thing in his kind of style?
If he would go for the armor reduction, he would have to drop the lifesteal from Mask of Madness. So I doubt he will go for that. He will probably go for an MKB or a Butterfly to escape the Void and the Viper.
That's true.
Even a BKB.
Yeah, I was thinking even an Abyssal could be a chance, but the fact is, I think that's a unique attack modifier, isn't it? The Bash from the Basher.
No, the Bash isn't a unique attack modifier. He could use it.
So he could go for that as well.
Yeah. He should probably go for more DPS of an attack speed rather than damage.
I mean, he's got a large amount of DPS with Omni Slash already, but it's always that very random thing with Juggernaut. Like, what if your ultimate only lasts for 2 slashes and then you get a kill and it doesn't jump anywhere else?
You could get a little mobility with a Blink Dagger.
And yeah, jump between units. It's so cool to watch people do that. But they take down Roshan. Juggernaut picks up the Aegis, drops his poor man's shield. And again, no reply, but they bring 4 heroes down, but they don't actually stop the Roshan. Do you think that's just wasted time for Raze Gaming?
I actually don't think they were aware of them doing Roshan, just that they were missing, because they didn't see from this part, it only comes to there are the 3s.
And actually at the same time, bottom lane, Void gets nuked down after expending Chronosphere. Janoz does throw out his stun, trying to actually create some space, but Nevdi's pursuing with that insane movement speed and Exorcism up, and it looks like this tier 2 bot may be dropping with that large control ability down and on cooldown. And actually look right now, Rise of Dean's actually in the enemy jungle. He's given up the tower and he's just heading back to farm, whereas the other 3 heroes are sitting at their tier 3s.
I doubt he can do anything else but farm right now, because once he gets to that Orchid, they may have a chance killing Juggernaut without using the ulti.
And actually, wow, Johnny Hitler may be in trouble from Ottoman. But the beautiful Jug ulti will pick up 2. Alchemist does use that Ghost Scepter and is extremely tanky, not dying. Axe tries to get a call off, but that's silence. Insane timing. Axe pops the ultimate really early on Stormspirit. Thought he could get the kill, and will the Battle Hunger tick him down? I do not believe so. Actually, Axe jumps ahead. Culling Blade.
That Blink Dagger.
That Blink Dagger, he got it so early. His lane was so easy for him, surprisingly. Even in that defensive tri lane. The Alchemist pickup again, I'm thinking, was really greedy against this offlane Axe.
Well, we might have not noticed, but Alchemist only survived his suicidal unstable concoction due to the Ghost Scepter.
But I thought he had that on during the Skywrath Mage ultimate, and I wondered why it wasn't blowing him up.
He had the Chemical Rage active as well.
So that was just keeping him from death. Yeah, he looked extremely tank at that time, and I was a little bit confused, but seems to all make sense now.
Me too. getting some damage. He has a Maelstrom and seems to be going for a Crystallis.
Yep, does pick up the
Does he have
Blades
the
of
time
Attack.
Does he have time for that?
That's what I'm thinking. I think they won't have the time. They've already lost one Rax mid, and it looks like 3 heroes are grouping up bottom, so that second Rax could very well happen. And actually, Rise of Dean may be in trouble again. Jumps out of the fight just in time. Kirk just...
Actually, he did call him, but
Did he zip away in time? So was it within the threshold?
No, he wasn't within the threshold. He did call.
But he did land the initial damage.
Yes.
And
Wow.
he's really using that Aghanim Scepter to a great advantage. Storm Spirit zips in.
Doing some stuff. Yeah, he's gonna steal the kill, but gonna pay off for that.
And now the swap's going to come out onto the Viper. Juggernaut jumps in, expends the ultimate. Doesn't actually last that long, but Ottoman looks like he's going to drop to Culling Blade, 625 damage. Triple kill for Kirk. Is he going to get the Ultra? He will get the Ultra. I don't know if he's going to go for the Rampage inside the fountain, though. That'd be a little bit ballsy.
They actually gave up already. I'm wondering why they don't pull GG.
Yeah, it's...
But it's their choice, and we're going to respect it.
Yeah. 27 minutes in, 2 racks down, and looking at a couple of stats, 15k in advance for XP, and for gold, 20k. And Ottoman calls that GG. Raze Gaming are out. They were late to the game for a little bit, but that's all fine. We have reserve time for a reason, and they end up dropping.
Raze Gaming is out of the tournament.
Yep, they're out. They've been dropped down from the losers bracket, and FL, I believe, will advance further up to take on, who was it, Team Aspire?
Yes. Yeah. Team Aspire presented pretty well onto the previous game.
It looks like both teams just trading their, showing off their items and having a bit of a laugh now. Viper leaves the game. Looks like a bit of emotions coming out right now. So that's game over. FL advance. Fancy Lads moving on to take on Team Aspire, and now these teams will be fighting for the chance to go back up into the main bracket, and of course the prestige of being in the finals. So thank you very much for joining me, DK. Hope you had a good time on the cast.
It was actually quite good. I felt great.
It was
and I hope everyone who's watching did as well.
I'm sure they did. Alright, thanks everyone.
That went pretty well. So there's no more games today.
I'm not really sure now, to be honest. I just got to quickly update the bracket real quick. So this was Raze versus Fancy Lads. Dinga donga dong. Fancy Lads 1. So Fancy Lads 1, Raze Gaming 0, submit scores. And now it's Fancy Lads versus RTK actually.
Yeah.
And then it's after that round, the loser of G, which is Team Aspire, will take on the winner of Fancy Lads versus RTK. But I'm not really sure when we're actually doing that game. It's a little bit late, so I'm pretty sure we wouldn't be doing it tonight.
Well, it says it is a comment here. It's gonna be either tomorrow at 4 p.m. or 8 p.m. If it's RG versus FL, it's at 4 p.m. If it's FPS versus FL, it's at 8 p.m. And it's RTK. No, it's RTK versus FL.
Yep, Fancy Lads. So what does that say in the bracket? Where is it? This was winner of L, which was Fancy Lads, and they're taking on RTK, and then check comments. So if it's on Sunday 25th at 8 p.m.
But who's FPS? Oh,
First person
they
shooter.
won.
Yeah, they won the other
RTK
game to put them up.
And oh, they were in the winner bracket. Oh, actually, Team Aspire are going to fight uh
The winner of
FPS.
F, which is FPS. Yep.
Yeah, like that.
Alright, wait. Do you want me to change that one? Team Aspire versus FPS. And then, do you want to change this comment so it'll be Sunday 25th, 8 p.m. Sunday the 25th at 8 p.m. And what's the time for you right now?
11. Oh, right now it's 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Yeah, well,
Well, thanks
oh,
so
it's
much
gonna
for
be at 8
casting,
p.m.
man.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Maybe we can do a couple more things in the future if you'd like to. And you can also, basically, so when we release the casting forms, what happens is it's kind of like first in, best rest. So you'll just jump onto this page that says everything, and you can put your name down for any games that you're available for. But if there's anyone soloing, just message them and ask if they want a co-caster, and I'm sure they'd be fine with it. So you can get into lots of games if you want to.
Yeah, I can also come tomorrow into that Fancy Lads versus RTK.
Yep. What time would that be for you? So 8 p.m. for us. What would that be for you?
That's 11 a.m. and it's good. I did cast that game with Raze at 11 a.m. today.
Oh, yep. Okay, so it's 11 a.m. On the Sunday, or is that the Saturday for you? I don't know.
No, it's Sunday.
Oh, okay, it's on Sunday
Yeah.
for you.
So I'll join you tomorrow.
Yeah, that sounds good, man.
Dave.
Sounds
Okay, I'll
perfect.
add it there.
We had I just want to see if I got the screenshot. For some reason, my screenshot button.
The F12.
Yeah, I was pressing it, but it didn't do like the ching. So I did the print screen method, and I'm gonna see if that hopefully worked, which I'm fairly sure it did not. No,
Well,
it did
I
not.
should also post the results here. It was Fancy Lads who won.
How late were they? So it was 14 minutes before one person came.
What for a minute?
For their lateness. So first guy came at 11:14, and then when did they like get everyone in?
At my first guest today.
Yeah. Oh no, no, the other one, the game that we just did. What time did like all of them get into the lobby?
Oh, it was like 11 and 15 past.
I think it was like 16 to 17 because they were like getting all those stand-ins and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it got confused, so we can't just let them forfeit, and they lost anyways.
Alrighty. Oh, yep. So you've put that in. Everything's set. So yep, you changed the name as well. Cool. I wonder if we had many people watching the Twitch.
Let's see.
Because it was advertised, the game.
You had like 600 views. Not so many. I don't know if it got updated yet, but it's only 2 more views than it was before.
Yeah.
So we should probably wait a little more to see. But where was it advertised? Once we upload it on YouTube, it's gonna get more views probably.
Oh yeah. But the thing is, people aren't sending me their replays, or they're not uploading them, so it's only my games, and it's getting a bit annoying. What about your game that you did today with Raze? That wasn't recorded, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, that's fine.
I was like, I was stream previewing it, and I didn't close that, and I did press the button to record it, but it didn't work because I was previewing it.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. So... yeah, I think we got everything set. I think we're ready to go. Alright, well I'm going to jump off and play a public game now, just with a mate. If you want to join, you can.
I actually can't play on Australia. I have
Oh,
only
right. Yeah, that's true. It'd be extremely laggy. But that's right. I'm going to jump off now and jump onto a call with him. But yeah, thanks so much for casting. I'll see you tomorrow.
see you tomorrow.
Alright, catch you later, man.